everybody. I am a very tired, very jaded old man at the end of Ubisoft's press conference for E3 2016 because they started off really good. They started off strong, and then it started to go up, and then it went up again, and then it went up again, and then just fall, and then it ended with just complete boredom. And so I'll be here to tell you about all the good and all the bad that happened here. So they started off with just Dance 2017, and the best part about it is there was a person in a there was a dancing giraffe costume. So that's what made it funny. And next they showed up with a gameplay demo for Ghost Recon Wildlands, and it was I don't know, it just felt very boring and disingenuous because you know that, because it reminded me just like the Division trailer. They showed these people playing the game using headsets to talk to each other when nobody ever talks to each other like that on their headset. We know all we're going to hear on headsets are just 10-year-olds or 10-year-olds cursing and just non-stop profanity, and then there's always going to be that one asshole that has music playing in the background and everyone's going to scream at them to mute their microphone. That's all it is, and we know the mission is never going to go as smoothly choreographed as it actually went in that demo. So I see the thing, like I always say with my problem with Ubisoft, is now that I've been through all the bad with Assassin's Creed, Unity, and Watch Dogs, I swore to myself I would never touch a Ubisoft game ever again unless it was something that really enticed me. And there were only 3 things I saw in this that didn't look anything like something that's your typical cut and paste game mechanics from every single Ubisoft game you see. And those were South Park: The Fractured Butthole. That game just looks like they're taking everything that was great about the Stick of Truth and making it even better. So I loved everything I saw from that. And then we got to see 2 expansions for the Division: Underground and Survival, which is, same old Division, just a Tom Clancy skin of Destiny. And then we have Eagle Flight, which is a VR game, which looks pretty interesting, but I don't know how long that will last for you to play it, but since you're constantly going to have to be moving your head, looking around the whole time, it looks like one of those games where you play it for an hour and then you just never touch it again. Kind of like, what was it called? Kind of like Nintendo Land for the Wii U. It reminds me of that. And next we got a really great thing. We got to see Star Trek Bridge Crew, and we got to see this video of LeVar Burton and Carl Urban, and I forgot her name, but someone, I believe she was a Borg from Star Trek Voyager. We got to see them and like one of the guys from Ubisoft playing the Star Trek game, and it looks like it's running on the Oculus, but I don't think it's an Oculus exclusive, because they said coming to all major VR platforms. So that's very interesting, and I like that it really feels like you're in an episode of Star Trek. You are a part of the crew. You're on the bridge, doing everything you would imagine all the joys and wonders of Star Trek will bring to you. And now, unfortunately, because VR is expensive, I won't be able to play it, but it definitely looks like something that will be quite the treat for people that enjoy Star Trek, such as myself. Next up, we saw more of For Honor and and one thing that surprised me is it actually has a campaign, which means any disinterest I heard, because it seemed like such a really good concept for a game, now it's finally back, that I want to play it now that is a campaign. And you saw, I forgot who you were like some kind of Viking with an axe, and you were fighting samurais. It looked really nice, and it didn't look like your typical open world bullshit from Ubisoft, so that's why I like that. That's why I like Star Trek Bridge Crew. That's why I like South Park. Next up, another game that looks kind of interesting, Grow Up, which is a sequel to Grow Home, that tiny little indie game from Ubisoft. So it's pretty much more of that, which I welcome, because once again, it's not your typical Ubisoft bullshit. Next up, we got to see Trials of the Blood Dragon, which is this crossover between Blood Dragon and Trials, and it's available today, right now. So I don't know if I want to give that a try, but it definitely does seem interesting. And next, we got to see an update on the Assassin's Creed movie. Whatever. I just hope it's rated R, since the game is very violent and rated M. Let's hope they don't do the video game franchise a disservice by making it rated PG-13, even though I hint that's what they're going to make it, which really saddens me, because, I mean, come on, if the game can have that much blood and that much killing, that much violence, why the fuck can't the movie? I mean, look, this is a post-Deadpool world. There is no excuse for video game movies to not be rated R if the video game they are based on is rated M. So then we got to see our first gameplay demo of Watch Dogs 2, and here I was hoping I'll keep an open mind and I will check to make sure that they're trying to do something different, something interesting, and it didn't catch me. I'm sorry, I wanted to watch this hoping that Watch Dogs, now that this is a brand new game, it's a brand new setting, it's a brand new tone, new characters, I thought that the gameplay would be enough to entice me, to change my mind on it, but it just reminds me too much of the first game. I don't want to play it. And then they announced that they're doing a Watch Dogs movie, which surprisingly will interest me way more. And let's hope that this Watch Dogs movie can be rated R, just since it's based off of a rated M franchise. Next, Ubisoft always does their one more thing at the end of every single one of their E3 conferences, and this is by far the most disappointing one yet. Steep. It's a fucking snow sports game. Really? This is your big thing? A snowboarding game? I mean, this feels like a mini game. It's like if they took the mini games from GTA 5 and they just put them all into its own game, and yet GTA does it way better. So it's like, why would I even care to play this? It's just whatever. And yet again, I'm not a sports guy, so maybe I am being too harsh on all of the conferences. Maybe I am being a bit too jaded towards everything. But because I say it's not for me, then I'm disappointed. I mean, I hope, I probably am coming across like a spoiled little asshole. But a lot of the stuff I'm seeing from the past conferences, only a few things really interest me, really grab my attention. Only a few things really make me want to play it. That's just the way it is. Every person is subjective. Video games are a very subjective thing, and this is just my opinion. This is just how I feel. So if you don't agree with me, please do not crucify me. This is just how I felt about this conference in particular. And when you watch all my other conference reviews that happen from this E3, that's just how I felt about those, because we all have different opinions. So anyway, that was the Ubisoft press conference. There were a lot of highlights, but overall, there were good. It's like a 50-50. There were some really great things, and then there were some things that really bored me. So anyway, those were my thoughts on Ubisoft's E3 conference this year. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you for more of my E3 coverage.